Hi, welcome. I'm Miss Catonic, and I like reading books and I like buying books. But I've been doing a lot more of one than the other lately. So, to start off this channel and start off my actually reading journey, I wanted to participate in Bloomingreadathon. I think there's a video that explains the concept a lot better, but it comes with a bingo card. And so I've gathered and maybe I've bought extra books that we will be reading this November. I can't show you the whole pile, I think. Wait. But yeah, this is it. Oh, one of them is showing. Oh no, don't look. Alright. So this is the pile. Books that we might read. Maybe all of them. In November. Maybe. So I'm pretty sure you're allowed to have crossovers on the bingo card. So if like one book like ticks off multiple boxes. I'm not 100% sure. But since I wasn't sure, I may have grabbed books that are for each category. For example, there's one for nonfiction, and I don't own a single nonfiction book. Oh, crap. Yeah, three. So I would need a nonfiction book, and I don't own any. So I had to buy one. And I chose Writing as a Profession, I think, by Haruki Murakami. It seemed nonfiction enough. I don't know. Speaking of, if you have any recommendations, like feel free to recommend them in the comments because this bingo card has made me realize that I'm missing a lot of variety in my reading. So feel free to, if you don't mind. So let's just start from the start and go with B. And B is a book that has a lot of buzz. It's a very popular one. And one that I have that's very popular is How to Sell a Haunted House. It's of the stack the most recent popular one because it's contending with a different book. But as a recent work of fiction, this is the popular one. I don't know much about this. I think I've read from this author. It was my best friend's exorcism, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to see what this is all about. Should I read the back of the cover for you? I don't know. I don't know how to make these videos. I just wanted to make it because I figured I was never going to actually get around to doing it, so I just have to do it. When Louise finds out that her parents have died, she dreads going home. She doesn't want to leave her daughter with her ex and fly to Charleston. She doesn't want to deal with her family home, stuffed to the rafters with the remnants of her father's academic career, and her mother's lifelong obsession with puppets and dolls. Oh no. She doesn't want to learn how to live without the two people who knew and loved her best in the world. Most of all, she doesn't want to deal with her brother, Mark, who never left their hometown, gets fired from one job after another, and resents her success. Unfortunately, she'll need his help to get the house ready for sale, because it'll take more than some new paint on the walls and clearing out a lifetime of memories to get the space on the market. But some houses don't want to be sold, and Louise and Mark's home has other plans for both of them. Like his novels, The Southern Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires and The Final Girl Support Group, How to Sell a Haunted House is a classic Hendrix. Equal parts heartfelt and terrifying, it's a gripping new read from the horror master USA Today. So that's what we're gonna have to look forward to with this. And I just noticed that a lot of these books are gonna tick multiple boxes. But this is a very ambitious, if I have all the time in the world. If I don't have the time for it, I'm going to let it overlap. So this is gonna be B. And I don't have enough space on my desk. Alright. The second one is Cloud. And Cloud is meant to be a book you assume will make you emotional. And so I have The Miracles of the General Store. It is also a book that takes place in a foreign land, but I've got a couple of those, so I'm set for that, I guess. From exactly midnight until daybreak, the Namiya General Store advice box will be reopening for one night only. When three delinquents hole up in an abandoned general store after their most recent robbery, to their great surprise, a letter drops through the mail slot in the store's shutters. The seemingly simple request for advice sets the trio on a journey of discovery as, over the course of a single night. They step into the role of the kind hearted former shopkeeper who devoted his waning years to offering thoughtful counsel to his correspondents. Through the lens of time, they share insight with those seeking guidance, and by the morning, none of their lives will ever be the same. By acclaimed author Keigo Higashino, The Miracles of the Namiya General Store is a work that has touched the hearts of readers around the world. I'm pretty sure this is going to be really, really emotional for me because I'm very, very soft. Like, hit me with horror books all you want, that's fine. Soft, not so great. Oh, this is also my. So, this is both my Cloud and Daffodil. So, Cloud is a book that you assume will make you emotional, and Daffodil is a book about friendship. So, this one's both because, as it turns out, I don't have a lot of books about friendship. So, talk about blind spots in my reading. A happy book. So, about this, I don't have any. So, I've ordered. I had a few books on my wish list that I've ordered and they haven't gotten here yet. So I'm planning on doing a reading vlog, and if I ever find one, I will let you know in the reading vlogs. If you have recommendations for happy books, please feel free because I have nothing happy in my books. So a book that happens outside of a country that I'm in is a whole lot, but the one I chose specifically for this is What You Are Looking For Is in the Library. Oh, it's on the inside. It takes place in Tokyo. So, what are you looking for? So asks Tokyo's most enigmatic librarian. For Sayuri, Komachi is able to sense exactly what each visitor to her library is searching for and provide, just a book recommendation to help them find it. A restless retail assistant looks to gain new skills. A mother tries to overcome demotion at work after maternity leave. A conscientious accountant yearns to open an antique store. A recently retired salaryman searches for newfound purpose. In Komachi's unique book recommendations, they will find just what they need to achieve their dreams. What You Are Looking For Is in the Library is about the magic of libraries and the discovery of connection. This inspirational tale shows how by listening to our hearts, seizing opportunity, and reaching out, we too can fulfill our lifelong dreams. Which book will you recommend? Yes, which books will you recommend? This one is going to be my moon. But there's many moons in this pile. Already mentioned the nonfiction book, so the Daffodils I also mentioned. And now we have Cactus, a non-needy read, so it has fewer pages. It is also, however, my water, which is from an author that you're thirsting to read more of. And I chose Stephen King, specifically Carrie. So, as much as I like horror, I haven't read a whole lot of Stephen King. And I know there's a movie about this that I've also not seen. So, I'm looking forward to diving into this one. I started a little bit because I just wanted to be sure that I was going to do this one. I've got a few anthologies, which is what I think Cactus recommends, but I'm not so good at finishing those up. So, Carrie. Oh, right. What's it about? Carrie may be picked on by her classmates, but she has a gift. She can move things with her mind. Doors lock, candles fall. This is her power and her problem. Then, an act of kindness, as spontaneous as the vicious taunts of her classmates, offers Carrie a chance to be normal, until an unexpected cruelty turns her gift into a weapon of horror and destruction that no one will ever forget. There's also a space that is for an antagonist. Yeah, the mole. I don't know if this one fit the mole. I think because I can't really search up a book with a strong antagonist without getting spoilers. So I'm just gonna have to hope that one of these has a really strong antagonist. I'm guessing this one might. But it sounds like she's getting bullied, so we'll see. We'll see. I support women's rights and women's wrongs. Variegated, a rare book. So I wasn't sure how to know if a book I have is rare. So I just went with a book that I have literally seen nothing about. Like, not on TikTok, not on Book Talk, not on Book YouTube. And I came up with August Kitko and the Mechas from Space. It is a space opera, as far as I understood it. I also don't have a lot of sci-fi, so maybe it's super popular in the sci-fi genre. I just don't know. If by any chance you guys know if any of these are the other ones that I'm going to be showing are rarer than this one, let me know. But this could also fall into free space, I guess. When an army of giant robot AIs threatens to devastate Earth, a musician becomes humanity's last hope in this glam-packed new space opera from the author of A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe, which I also don't know about. The robots are coming to kill us, and there's nothing we can do about it, but wait. Gus Kitko expects to spend his final moments on Earth playing piano at the greatest goodbye party of all time, and maybe kissing non-binary rock star Ardent Violet before the last of humanity is wiped out forever. But when the giant robotic vanguards finally arrive, the unthinkable happens. Instead of Gus, one decides to save him. Suddenly, Gus's swan song becomes humanity's encore as he's chosen to join a small group of treacherous mechas and their pilots dedicated to saving us all. And Gus isn't going down without a fight in F major. So I haven't actually read the back. There's a non-binary character in here, and there is a space called Green Carnation, which asks you to read about topics concerning LGBTQ plus themes, or if the author is. So this one fits in, but specifically for that one, I had Carmilla planned, and I'm gonna read both, probably, because Carmilla is pretty short, I think. I'm very ambitious with this list. Don't hold me to it. We'll see which ones I get to. And this is the moment where I might be really heavily criticized by book creators. The propagation space is the adaptation space. So a book that's been adapted to a series, a show, a movie, a ginormous fucking franchise that you haven't read. I have not read I have not read any of the Lord of the Rings books and none of the Hobbits. Even though I've watched all the movies, I enjoy it. I love it. I never got around to reading it. And I mean, everyone's gonna know what this book is about, but in a sleepy village in the Shire, a young hobbit is entrusted with an immense task. He must take a perilous journey across Middle Earth to the cracks of doom, there to destroy the ruling ring of power, the only thing that prevents the Dark Lord's evil dominion. Thus begins J.R.R. Tolkien's classic tale, which continues in The Two Towers and The Return of the King. Yeah, I never read it, so we're gonna get this one off the list as quickly as possible. By the end of the year. Even if I don't read it for the November thing, I'm gonna read it by the end of the year. And now we get to the space dark, which would be dark themes, horror, anything. I have a lot of horror books. I'm guessing the, what's it called again? How to Sell a Haunted House will classify as a horror. But from the video I saw from the person hosting this event, you're allowed to like use the descriptions pretty freely. So I went with the darkest cover book that I have, and that would be Rouge by Mona Awad, the author of Bunny. I've heard good things about Bunny. I haven't really seen a whole lot about this one. Oh, there's a mushroom in it. And it is... Hey, it's a horror-tinged gothic fairy tale, so it fits anyway. Okay. From the critically acclaimed author of Bunny comes a horror-tinged gothic fairy tale about a lonely dress shop clerk whose mother's unexpected death sends her down a treacherous path in pursuit of youth and beauty. Can she escape her mother's fate and find a connection that is more than skin deep? For as long as she can remember, Belle has been obsessed with skin and skincare videos. When her estranged mother, Noelle, mysteriously dies, Belle finds herself back in Southern California, dealing with her mother's considerable debts and grappling with lingering questions about her death. The stakes escalate when a strange woman in red appears at the funeral, offering a tantalizing clue about her mother's demise, followed by a cryptic video about a transformative spa experience. With the help of a pair of red shoes, Belle is lured into the barbed embrace of La Maison de Meduse. I can't speak French. The same lavish, culty spa to which her mother was devoted. There, Belle discovers the frightening secret behind her and her mother's obsession with the mirror, and the great shimmering depths and demons that lurk on the other side of the glass. Snow White meets Eyes Wide Shut in this surreal descent into the dark side of beauty, envy, grief, and the complicated love between mother and daughters. With black humor and seductive horror, Rouge explores the cult-like nature of the beauty industry, as well as the danger of internalizing its pitiless gaze. Brimming with California sunshine and blood-red rose petals, Rouge holds up a warped mirror to our relationship with mortality, our collective fixation with surfaces, and the wondrous deep longing that might lie beneath. Yeah, I 100% bought it because of the cover. I didn't actually read. Don't worry about how I end up buying books. I might talk about it at some point, but yeah. So, looking forward to this one. And now we get to Lotus, which is a book featuring disability. And I'm gonna need everyone's help with this one because I'm not 100% sure what counts. Like, I'm pretty sure some of these handle like mental disability, but I don't know if it's supposed to be like physical disability. I don't know. And 100%, I'm not sure if I can just Google that and not have the plot spoiled. So if you guys have recommendations for that one, let me know. It could be that when I read one of them, it's just gonna be in there. I'm hoping that's the case, but we'll see. Succulent. A book that makes you hot, angry, steamy, or otherwise. So I was going to read a romance novel, but I'm not sure we're there yet, you know? Like, I'm not sure we're on that level yet. So I'm gonna go with The Witches of Vardo, which is about kind of like the Salem trials, but in Norway, I think it was. And I mean, it looks like flames, right? So it's hot. It'll probably get me angry. Norway, 1662. A dangerous time to be a woman, when even dancing can lead to accusations of witchcraft. When recently widowed, Sigrid embarks on a doomed affair with the local merchant. She is sent to the forest at Vardo to be tried as a witch. Sigrid's daughter, Ingeborg, sets off into the wilderness to rescue her mother. Accompanying her on this quest is Maren, whose wild nature and unconquerable spirit gives Ingeborg the courage to risk all she has to save her family. Also captive in the fortress is Anna Rodius, once the king of Denmark's mistress, who was sent into disgrace to the island of Vardo, where she will do and who will she betray to return to her privileged life at court. In an age weighed against them, these witches of Vardo refuse to be victims. They will have justice, all they need to do is show their power. So this one for Succulents. There's a free space. I haven't thought about it. This is extensive at this point, so I'll get back to you on that one at some other point. Lily, a book that deals with grief and death. So some of the ones that we've mentioned before deal with grief and death to a pretty big degree. Seems like I should have read the backs of the books before doing all of this, but I decided to go with You've Reached Sam, which is a book I got on a whim at some point. I probably saw it on TikTok because it does say the must-read TikTok sensation. It looks like young adult, so maybe I'll read through it really quickly. 17-year-old Julie Clark has her future all planned out. Move out of her small town with her boyfriend Sam, attend college in the city, spend the summer in Japan. But then Sam dies and everything changes. Heartbroken and desperate to hear him one more time, Julie calls Sam's phone just to listen to his voicemail recording, and Sam picks up the phone. The connection is temporary, but hearing Sam's voice makes Julie fall for him all over again, and with each call it becomes harder to let him go. What would you do if you had a second chance at goodbye? So yeah, this is all about grief, and maybe moving on. So this one is going to be my Lily. So another thing that I might get judged for is the following book, which I've chosen to be The Snail, which is the slow burn. And I'm not really sure if it's a slow burn. All I know is I tried reading a chapter of it in high school, and then I went to my English teacher and I asked him if I could read Dracula instead. And the book is Wuthering Heights. It's a really pretty edition. I mean, look at it. Look at it. Look at the sides. I mean, look at the pages. So, I've not read any of the Bronte sisters' work either. Like I said, gaps in my reading. But yeah, so for slow burn, I'm going with Wuthering Heights because this book is so pretty and so nice, and I've just never gotten around to it, and I hear so many great things about it. So, in Emily Bronte's only novel, The Passion of Catherine and Heathcliff is as wild as the moors surrounding their childhood home, Wuthering Heights. This dark tale of love and loss, power and possession, action and terrifying reaction stands as one of the greatest works of fiction in the English language. I tried getting through the first chapter, I couldn't get through it, and then I read Dracula instead. But we're gonna be reading it. Right? Right. We're gonna be reading it. We have Fertilizer, a book that will nourish your soul. I'm really overexposed, aren't I? That doesn't help. That did not help. So, a book that will nourish your soul. I'm not 100% sure it will, but I've not been let down by any book that has a cat on the cover yet. And for this one, I'm going with The Goodbye Cat by Hiro Arikawa. By the author of the Traveling Cat Chronicles, which I have read. So, this is about a cat. Against the backdrop of changing seasons in Japan, we meet Spin, a kitten rescued from the recycling bin whose simple needs teach an anxious man how to care for his own baby. A colony of wild cats on a holiday island shows a young boy not to stand in nature's way. A family is perplexed by their cat's devotion to their charismatic but uncaring father. A woman curses her cat for constantly visiting her at night. An elderly cat, Coda, hatches a plan to pass into the next world as a spirit so that he and his owner may be together forever. Bursting with empathy and love, the Goodbye Cat exquisitely explores the unstoppable cycle of life, as we see how the steadiness and devotion of a well-loved cat never lets us down. A huge bestseller in Japan, every page is a joyous celebration of the wondrousness of cats and why we cannot resist sharing our lives with them. So yeah, this one I have for nourishing my soul. My partner hasn't agreed to getting a cat yet, but this is closest we're gonna get. So we have Tulip, a book featuring love and one you'll love. Obviously, there are romantic undertones in all of these books, including Carmilla and the rest, but I wanted something completely different because I just wanted to make this list really long and like give myself anxiety when I look at the stack of books. So I went with Anatomy, a love story. I really like the cover. I 100% got it because of the cover. I mean, look at it. Are you kidding me? A gothic tale full of mystery and romance. Oh. Also, look at the inside. Like, this is such an interesting shade of green. Okay. Edinburgh, 1817. Hazel Sinnott is a lady who wants to be a surgeon more than she wants to marry. Jack Currer is a resurrection man who's just trying to survive in a city where it's too easy to die. When the two of them have a chance encounter outside the Edinburgh Anatomist Society, Hazel thinks nothing of it at first. But after she gets kicked out of renowned surgeon Dr. Beecham's lectures for being the wrong gender, she realizes that her new acquaintance might be more helpful than she first thought. Because Hazel has made a deal with Dr. Beecham. If she can pass the medical examination on her own, Beecham will allow her to continue her medical career. Without official lessons, though, Hazel will need more than just her books. She'll need corpses to study. Luckily then that she knows someone who digs them up for a living. But Jack has his own problems. Strange men have been skulking around cemeteries. His friends are disappearing off the streets, and the dreaded Roman fever, which wiped out thousands a few years ago, is back with a vengeance. Nobody important cares until Hazel. Now Hazel and Jack must work together to uncover the secrets buried not just in unmarked graves, but in the very heart of Edinburgh society. So, it's gothic, it has love. Grave robbing? I don't know. I did see it in the young adult section, so I don't know like how dark it can get. Oh my, the letters are huge. Okay, maybe I can get through this a lot quicker than I thought. All right, The Goodbye Cat is also my ladybug, a book that has that looks cute on the surface, but it's probably going to ruin my life because it's sad, most likely. The other one, the Traveling Cat Chronicle one that I read before, was also really sad to a point. So this is most likely to ruin my life as well. But, if we're going to do it per book, per category, I have, what's her? Yiyun Lee, Must I Go? And it's cute. It's pastel. Look at look at it. It's nice. It's cute. But it's supposed to be sad, I think, she said. A review said. I didn't actually like the spoiler ones, but they said it was really sad. So, Lilia Liska is 81. She has outlived 3 husbands, raised 5 children, and seen the birth of 17 grandchildren. Now she can turn her attention to one particularly strange little book, the diary of a long forgotten man named Roland Booley, with whom she had a fleeting affair. Drawn into an obsession over this fragment of intimate history, Lilia begins to annotate the diary with her own rather different version of events. She reveals to us the surprising long-held secrets of her life, and she returns inexorably to memories of her daughter Lucy. How does the past shape the future? How do we live in the face of the unanswerable? Must I Go considers these questions underlying an extraordinary life, exploring both the painful, finite nature of human existence and the infinite depth of human beings. This is going to destroy me. 100%, probably. So this is going on the pile. The pile is huge. So, roots. Return to your roots, a reread. I'm rereading Howl's Moving Castle. Between all of this sadness and horror and some romance, I'm gonna need a feel-good read. And I really liked Howl's Moving Castle the first time I read it. I would really like to revisit it again. So we're doing that. I've not read the other 2 series, the book series in the in the series. It has illustrations. Well, my other copy didn't have illustrations. Oh, I got this copy from my aunt, which is why, I'm doing a reread. It's very nice. It was good timing. Okay, I'm reading this one. In the land of Ingary, where 7-league boots and cloaks of invisibility really exist, Sophie Hatter attracts the unwelcome attention of the Witch of the Waste, who puts a curse on her. Determined to make the best of things, Sophie travels to the one place where she might get help, the moving castle which hovers over the nearby hills. But the castle belongs to the dreaded wizard Howl, whose appetite, they say, is satisfied only by the hearts of young girls. Also, you should watch the Ghibli movie of it. It's nice. It's not exactly like the book, but it's really cool. It's really nice. Very feel good. So, for Ivy, you have to pick the highest rated book you have on your shelf, which happens to be Lord of the Rings, which I'm already reading for the adaptation one. I couldn't find anything else on my shelf that was as high rated that's not already in the stack, so I tried, okay? I mean, no, that's basically it. So if you've got any highly rated book recommendations, I mean, the comments are there. Dandelion, a book that's been on your shelf for ages. Charles Bukowski, Tales of Ordinary Madness. I've had this book 5 years? Longer. The pages are turning yellow, is how long I've had the book on my shelf. The pages were white when I bought it. In these tales of ordinary manners, Charles Bukowski ingeniously mixes high and low culture, from prostitutes and the philosophy of Kant to despair and classical music, to create his modern dystopia. Inspired by D.H. Lawrence, John Fante, and Hemingway, Bukowski's writing is passionate, extreme, and relentlessly realistic. These are angry yet tender, humorous, and haunting portrayals of life in the underbelly of America. Charles Bukowski was one of America's best known and most prolific writers. During his lifetime, he published more than 45 books of poetry and prose, including the novels Post Office, Factotum, Women, and Pulp, all available from Virgin Books. I've not read a single one. This one was going to be my first one, and I never got around to it. So, seeing as it's been on my shelf for years at this point, yeah, this is the Dandelion. We're at the mole part, and I'm pretty sure Carrie is most likely to be the mole. But if it's not, I found a Japanese murder mystery that's most likely to have a good antagonist in it, and it's called The Inugami Curse by Seishi Yokomizo. A classic Japanese murder mystery from the author of The Honjin Murders, which I haven't read. Oh, it's here. The wealthy head of the Inugami clan dies, and his family eagerly awaits the reading of the will. But no sooner are its strange details revealed than a series of bizarre, gruesome murders begin. Detective Kindaichi must unravel the clan's terrible secrets of forbidden liaisons, monstrous cruelty, and hidden identities to find the murderer and lift the curse wreaking its bloody revenge on the Inugamis. The Inugami Curse is a fiendish, intricately plotted classic mystery from a giant of Japanese crime writing, starring the legendary detective Kosuke Kindaichi. Okay, Golden Age of Crime at its best. Readers will delight in the blind turns, red herrings, and dubious alibis. So, The Mole, murder mystery, made sense to me. Also, first novel that I'm reading from this person, so if it's really good, I would not mind getting the other one. Other ones, these covers are super nice. What the hell? Okay. Which brings us to the free space. Because right now, my book list is 16 long, right? So I wasn't sure if I was gonna actually use the free space, or if the free space was there like, hey, haha, you don't have to read anything, or if it's a free space for like a book you just want to read. So if it's a book I just want to read, and if I have time and get to it, I have Wednesday's Child. Yes, I got it because of the cover, because look at it, it's so nice. And then I saw the dog. Yes. And it's about a mother and a daughter, I think it was. It's from Yi Yun Lee. Same one that I have for Must I Go, which is somewhere in there. Okay. A dazzling new collection of short stories written over a decade spanning loss, alienation, aging, and the strangeness of contemporary life from Junji Lee, the prize-winning author of The Book of Goose, which I also have, but I haven't read yet. I need more reading time. A grieving mother makes a spreadsheet of everyone she's lost. A professor develops a troubled intimacy with her hairdresser, and every year, a restless woman receives an email from a strange man twice her age and several states away. In Junji's stories, people strive for an ordinary existence until doing so becomes unsustainable. Until the surface cracks and grand mysterious forces, death, violence, estrangement, come to light. And even everyday life is laden with meaning, studded with indelible details. A filched jar of honey, a mound of wounded ants, a photograph kept hidden for many years until it must be seen. Lee is a breathtakingly original writer, an alchemist of opposites, tender and unsentimental, metaphysical and blunt, funny and horrifying, omniscient and yet acutely aware of just how much we cannot know. Beloved for her novels and memoirs, she returns here to her earliest form, gathering short stories and unremarkable novella never before a remarkable, not unremarkable, I'm sorry, novella never before published in the UK. Taken together, the stories in Wednesday's Child articulate the true cost of living with all Lee's trademark unnerving beauty and searing wisdom. I'm, I'm clearly tired. Ooh, it's green! Oh, nice. Yeah, so this is going to be my Bloomingreadathon list. If I can actually manage it, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's it. Let me know if you're participating. I would like to see what your list looks like. And if you have any books in common. I wonder how many books we have in common. It'd be nice. I want to meet people that read similar books or are trying to read similar books. How Listen, it could have been because I was in high school and I just wasn't in the right headspace, but how did you guys get through it? I'm gonna read it. I just don't understand. It was so rough. I remember the first chapter just uh, uh, but that is my reading list for this year. We'll see how far we get. We'll see how far I get. I have absolute faith in everyone else. And yeah, if you have any book recommendations, let me know. If you want to follow along on the journey, feel free. I'm wondering if we should do like book reading vlogs, like show a little bit of like what I'm doing along with as I'm reading and stuff like that. I don't know how any of this works. I just wanted to make the video to get it out there because I know that the longer I agonize over it, the more I'm just not going to do it. And another year is gonna go by and you know, time is fleeting. So let me know. Subscribe if you want to join. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you around. Bye. Happy reading.